Welcome back to my writing hut. Today I'm going to try something a little different and I'm going to read to you a blog that I've just posted today. Social media truism for author me. You know, when you hear or read something and your brain buzzes with excitement, it's a truism moment for you. Well, I've just had one of those. I watched a reel on TikTok. Thank you, Susan DeRend. And my synapses buzzed, connections clicked, understanding pinged. I do have quite a noisy brain. The truism for me, I've been trying too hard again. Now, it's the story of my life, trying too hard to be what I think I need to be, rather than just being me. Every time I think I've got this under control, something comes along to remind me that this trait permeates throughout my life in all sorts of different situations. This time it relates to social media and the author part of me. I've been seeing social media as a marketing tool, as so many indie author blogs and podcasts advise, which is good because it is. But setting goals for my social media marketing, such as a goal of selling a certain number of books, finding a certain number of readers, getting a certain number of website subscribers, etc., this could set me up for a spiral of despair. If it doesn't reach the goals I set, even if this is caused by a technology blip or life circumstances, then I will be disappointed. I'll feel like I've failed, and then I'll lose interest because that's what I do. It's weird because I quite like the idea of having goals, of having something to aim for, and I do have SMART goals related to my books, but I know what I'm like. I'll be all in for a while and then I'll get bored and say, well, I tried, but it didn't work for me. And I must be such a crap writer because no one buys my books, not the ones that cost anyway. And then I will spiral down into what's the point of writing if no one reads it? And am I wasting my time? However, it's not that simple because I don't just post about writing, for I'm a creative and I do loads of creative things. I enjoy sharing my creativity and I don't spend ages thinking of what to say about some flower cards I've painted or something I've crocheted or carved. None of these are smart goals. I post these things just because I want to, with no purpose in mind other than sharing my love of creativity. But for writing, I try too hard. So, should I do more of my other creative endeavours and forget about writing? Am I wasting my precious time and life writing when I could be doing something else? Whoa, the thought of not writing is like standing on the brink of a deep, dark hole, and I worry that the characters who are politely waiting their turn to be released onto paper will protest a little loudly and drown out the real world for me. And then I will be that crazy woman who talks to herself. Oh, I may be that already. Oops. From this gut reaction to the thought of not writing, I conclude that I'm not wasting my time in writing because it gives me pleasure, satisfaction, and joy. I only have one life and it needs to be full of those things for it to be a good life. Therefore, I need to find a way of sharing my love of writing in the same casual way I share my other creativeness. I need to adjust my thinking, not stop using social media, but change my view and stop seeing social media as a tool. I need to view it as a process, not a means to an end as such. I need to enjoy it, not see it as a chore, a must do, a goal driven action. I have been putting too much weight on the outcome and not on the fun of the process. The daft thing is, I know this from being a primary school teacher. I was a big believer in process and not end product for learning and life. I still am. Observing how a child solved a problem was much more insightful than seeing what they made. I encourage children to see this, to experience this, and to discuss this, even the 4-year-olds. And yet I've not allowed myself to do the same. And it is the same for me. I am learning all the time. We all are. Every reaction question, step along life's path we take is learning. So, why am I not using this fundamental principle of learning or life in my author life? I think my excuse is that it's hard with writing a novel not to look at the end product because there is a very visible end product. But that is not a valid excuse, so I'm throwing it in the bin and taking a step onto a different pathway. I am now seeing social media as just another way in which to express my crazily creative self. It will then not be a waste of time. I'll not be so frustrated or false or trying to get it right. I'll just enjoy it, like writing blogs, which I've been very lax of late. I stopped last September when life took a wobbly turn, and as they weren't getting many views, I didn't bother to start again. Yeah, you see the pattern? They were becoming a means to an end rather than a creative expression for me. I like writing blogs about things that matter to me, and I've missed writing them. They're part of my process, part of my learning about writing, part of my introverted way to reach out and connect with people. It doesn't matter if people don't connect back or read my blogs. They are essentially for me, and if they touch a chord, help someone to look at their life in a different, maybe more satisfying way, give enjoyment, well, then that's a bonus. And I want to say that I have nothing against smart goals, and if that works for you, then go for it. We are all individuals and have our own ways of living. I am keeping the SMART goals I wrote for my books with their proposed outcomes, but not making that the important part. I am going to enjoy the process. Phew, it's amazing how one tiny comment from a total stranger on social media can propel me forwards, open my eyes, and set my feet on a new pathway. Have you heard or seen a truism for you recently? If so, do share in the comments.